Hello and welcome to the show. I am your host, Derek Gerber, and this is RPA Master Stories. Today we have Vlad from DashaAI. Welcome to the show, Vlad. Please introduce yourself to the audience and explain what you do for a living.
Yeah, hi Derek. Well, thanks for having me. So, what I'm doing for a living? A good question. So, I'm a CEO and one of the founders of conversational AI startup called Dasha, and we do for a living helping RPA companies and RPA developers to get into the hyper automation world.
All right. And with conversational AI, I think that's a little different than just chatbots, and we'll jump into that in a little later. So tell us more about the case study and the solution that we're going to discuss today with the audience.
Yeah, well, so how we see that kind of happening, and that's the mission of the company is that. Uh, we already, like unlocking at a fast pace all these backend processes, automation with the RPA solutions. But the thing is that there are a lot of other business processes in the front end where actually, that require some human interaction. So let's say you pick up a number from your patient management system using an RPA bot, and then you actually like talk with your customer using that information that the bot had bring to you. And the thing is like that we should take the last step and actually automate the human interaction itself, and delegate all the repetitive mundane tasks to a conversational AI. And so our platform, what do we do? Like we have RPA developers to achieve the hyper automation and automate these processes can end to end over voice or text chat.
That's phenomenal. So this is trying to extend beyond just the traditional interactions we've had, as the conversational AI piece will use robots to go and grab information and kick off its own workflows. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you got it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for today's story, if you could share the brand or logo, that would be wonderful. But what was the initial business challenge of the story that we're going to share today? What give us some more context on the background as to what we're about to hear.
Well, the background is that I've been doing, like machine learning kind of for a while, and at some point I came across like some interesting challenge where one of our kind of prospects, he asked actually to help them automate their lead generation kind of lead qualification pipeline using the voice. And we did that, and this is like how the company started. So we essentially combined the RPA bots that we already had like with the voice AI outreach that was gonna get the person on the line and then qualify in person and then get using the RPA bot get right information back into their system, and that was a tremendous success. And this is like how all that started.
Okay. So that makes sense. You found a niche and then went for it, and it's just exploding now for the need inside of the audience. And so again, as we were looking for options, why was it intelligent automation and not some other solution here? Like what brought you to this scenario in the first place? Was it the fastest and easiest way to implement something, maybe most natural way of doing it? But walk me through why intelligent automation with conversational AI and not some other way of doing it, like hiring more people or something.
Yeah, well, it's a probably easy answer because like a lot of tailwinds actually here, right? So first off, the COVID hit hard in, like we're all working from homes. That creates a lot of other security issues. Another thing is that people, like what is called like a great resignation. So a lot of people actually realize that they probably don't want to, just talk with the customers all day long, answering the same repetitive questions. And employers, on the other hand, like realize that they want their employees like to be more creative, like to busy with more creative, more complex kind of tasks versus just like answering the same question and answers all day long. And I think there are a lot of tailwinds that help this to get this way out, right? But the thing is, if you think about all this chatbot hype that was back in 2016, like 2018, right? That harmed, they damaged the industry a lot because those kind of bots were kind of not really smart, right? Let's put it this way. But the thing has changed since then, and a lot of technologies have been developed, right? Including GPT-3 and like other generative AI models that allows you to create like a way more robust AI and model a way more, like unstructured real world conversations. And the voice AI also like advanced very much in the sense of how human-like the speech synthesis is, how accurate the speech recognition is, and this is what we put together in one single kind of platform for RPA developers.
Okay, so for the case study today, is it a voice recognition system? Is it a website tool, or is it both? Help describe for everybody how they would expect to start using a tool like this, or maybe we're already using it and don't know in the real world.
Yeah, well, so typically that it is like omnichannel tool. So it could work over the phone, or it could work on your website, or it could work like in any text channel, like a chat widget, or email, or SMS, or WhatsApp, or whatever. And on a back end, you connect that, you chain that with your existing RPA bots, so an AI can actually get access to the data that RPA bots provides them to.
That's amazing. Okay, okay. So as you were putting this solution in and we're implementing it with the team, what did you learn, and where should we pay attention if we want to be able to replicate the same success?
Well, I can tell you about like one of the case studies that we have in financial services. So this is a large mortgage broker bank, and they have a loan application form on their website, right? And a lot of people filling out this loan application form. And the problem that they had is that they didn't have enough manpower to actually generate a callback immediately, get a person on the line, and qualify them in a call. And they decided to implement this using our platform, using Dasha, and combine it, chain it with their RPA technologies that they were using internally. And they were able to build this like end-to-end automation. So once you fill out the form on the website, you put your like name, surname, your phone number. So there, the call is being generated in real time back to you. So actually, you pick up the phone and say like, hey, this is like this in this bank, right? You just applied for a loan, right? So is it a good time, right, to ask you a couple of questions? And then you're gonna be being asked with some questions like, are you officially employed? Like, and all those kind of things. And then the information goes through the scoring in real time, and gets back to their database, right? And they're like, all right, like you actually looks like you're eligible for the loan. Like, let me schedule you with a loan officer, and then you can pick up the slot. Like, hey, I can do tomorrow at 5 p.m. Like, would that work for you? And they're like going back and forth, like it's appointment scheduling. And basically, I mean, like by the end of this, like couple of minute calls, that is really natural and really conversational. You have your loan approved, pre-approved, right? And you have an appointment scheduled with the bank, and like it's all done, and all the information is already sitting in the bank's systems, and they can enjoy like this kind of new customers. So it's a win-win for all the parties. And they're processing roughly 700,000 leads per month using our platform right now, which is, I think, quite a lot. And they've seen like the conversion rate like went up like by 2 times, basically, right? The conversion rate comparing to the human agents, and they were able to redeploy their human agents from that like not super like complex task actually to a more complicated task, and convert them into more like loan officers, and deploy it across the organization to perform a more creative tasks.
That is fantastic. Wow, there's a lot to unpack from that. So, 700,000 applications, there's no way you could hire enough people to process that quickly or be available 24/7 like that. And what I think I really like to hear is that the double of the conversion rate could really make a bottom line difference there at the end of the day while providing better quality. That's all 5 stars. And I think what gets me excited too is just learning all these capabilities. How long did it take to implement something like this?
Well, it depends on obviously the integration like you need to perform, but typically it could be as low as like a week or kind of couple of weeks. So you can do that in maybe a couple of weeks.
That is crazy. In just a couple of weeks, you could double your conversion rate and process hundreds of thousands of applications and people up front. I mean, that's phenomenal. And so for this system, was it a combination of online chat and over the phone, or what were the different interfaces that people had to interact with as they were doing their processing of their loan application?
Yeah, in that case, that was voice only. But typically, you're right. Like typically, you want to enable all these omni-channel. So like a person like can call in, they could send you an email, they could I don't know, engage with you with a chat bot, text box, a chat box on your website, right? So you typically want to do this omni-channel.
That's amazing. Okay, so that's just one piece of the whole puzzle, if you would. But are there any other projects that you're working on with them? What's the future for them right now? What's on their plate for moving forward after learning all these great ROI things about their investments so far?
Yeah, well, this specific customer, they're now taking our kind of white label platform, because we're more like a white label platform provider, and then build their own kind of products on top of it. So they uh, create more specific use cases for their different business units, and then onboarding other functions like HR. So for like a candidate screen, or like employee onboarding, offboarding, like marketing for all kind of, like marketing operations, fraud monitoring for the fraud monitoring, obviously. And a lot of other functions, and obviously customer service, right? So when you call in, or like contact their customer service about whatever question you have, and the self service when you want like a transfer money, or like issue a new card, or block your card, or whatever. So they're expanding in all these kind of business processes, and implementing them kind of one by one, which is usually a good approach. You want to like take one step at a time.
Yeah, we put in a working use case and in just a couple weeks start to transform the business. And now we can work to expand towards other departments that could use a little bit more support and scalability. I think my favorite part of this whole story right now is that the people were put into other revenue generation activities and letting the bots handle the things that may have seemed mundane but couldn't scale. The people power is more accurate. So these tools for scalability are enhancing your team's workforce, not replacing them. I think that's just phenomenal. So, okay, this is very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're straight to the point, because like there's like two things that are kind of a little bit underestimated today. The first thing is that you're just like redeploying your it's not about, like firing people, right? It's about redeploying your staff and empowering them to, and giving them new skills, so they could, like advance in their careers, right? Which is a good thing. And on the other hand, people tend to think that conversational AI is all about cutting costs, but actually conversational AI could be all about generating new revenue.
That's the right way to think. That's what gets me excited right there. I think you nailed it on the head is that these tools are just working to enhance your workforce. And in the terms of redeployment, that's a perfect way to get that done. Put them on more humanized activities, places where people need to be inserted into the process that add more value to your brand. That's just amazing. So if the audience wants to try this or get started, what would you recommend to them? How can they get started using Dasha AI themselves so they can start to play with the tools and put embedded in their own systems?
Yeah, well, although we do have a professional services division, but actually it's a full it's completely self-service. So they may want to go to Dasha.ai and open our playground right in a browser and start playing with it like in 15 seconds.
15 seconds to get started for the audience. I don't think you can beat that. So, oh man, Vlad, thank you for joining us here. This story is amazing.
No sign up required. No sign up even required.
I was going to say for everybody here, we got to know what is next for you and what is next for Dasha AI right now. What's on your roadmap for the year and beyond?
Well, we have a lot of amazing features that our customers are requesting. So on our roadmap is to deliver into production the voice cloning technology, so you can create an unlimited number of the brand voices. Intent discovery technology that allows you to analyze your existing mailboxes and, like call recordings, like all of that, and then extract why people are calling in, like what they're talking about, and then automatically generate the smart RPA bots that can handle these business processes. And we are also investing into making this technology ready to be working on-prem. So because we've built everything in-house, so we have our own speech recognition, speech synthesis, NLU, so we can put this to be working on premises, and which is, like very important, because a lot of RPA bots, as you know, right, they're also running on premises, and like by utilizing our platform, you can build this bundle and put this like in your data center or in your cloud, and it's going to be 100% secure.
That is phenomenal. There is no way to say no to some amazing technology like this. So, Vlad, thank you so much. I really appreciate having you on the show here today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Derek. The pleasure is all mine.
Well, again, for the audience, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, get inspired, get on top of your own projects with these type of new technologies. But again, today, I've been your host, Derek Gerber, and this has been another fun episode of RPA Master Stories. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much for joining us today.